Our first story tonight might make you feel a bit uncomfortable, and if it does, that's okay.
It is meant to make you think, maybe even start a conversation with the kids in your life or other parents. 207's Beth McAvoy has the story of a young man who is speaking out, sharing personal, even painful details of his life. Beth?
That's right, Rob and Peggy. Owen Clark seems like a typical teenager, but over the last 4 years, he's been through a personal hell. Finally fed up, Owen decided to take matters into his own hands and is using the only thing he has, his voice, to change the narrative. To meet Owen Clark,
I'm thinking I'm gonna get sponsored out of this.
You would never know that this talented 16-year-old from Elliott has gone through some really dark times in his short life.
I have no idea why it started or how it started. It happened pretty much like between every class, in class, during lunch, in the hallway.
Owen says he began to be bullied in 7th grade. By 8th grade, the insults were unrelenting.
Creep, weirdo, all those. Pretty much every day.
When he finally told us that, he's kind of been bullied, we just thought it was the typical 1 or 2 kids, and he kept saying, no, it's like my whole class, it's like my whole class. We're like, no, you're exaggerating.
And he said, walk away, let it roll off.
Then year after year, we kind of realized it was a lot of kids. It wasn't just 1 or 2, it was a lot of his class.
Things got so bad, Owen started cutting himself.
Sometimes you just kind of need to feel something different than mental and emotional pain like every single day. So you kind of replace it with physical pain and something to focus on other than all that negativity.
That's how you thought we were really on top of things. I mean, he didn't have social media. We didn't have to worry about that. Do things as a family all the time. We talk.
His lowest point came in 8th grade.
I was like standing on a ledge, contemplating suicide.
His parents finally learned about the cutting and the intensity of the problem when
they got a call from the school and they found out about it.
I don't think we could believe it either. Like, we couldn't believe that it had come to that point.
I didn't even believe it when the principal called me and said we had an anonymous call saying that your son, kind of said, yeah, not my son. You have the wrong number.
It was a hard day. It was very hard. I was like right over there on the couch crying like the whole day.
As he wrote in a letter, that day was also a blessing.
You didn't feel like you were sinking anymore, and you felt like you had other people to help, like grab your arms and pull you out of the water.
Owen started therapy, even got on medicine, and while that was helpful, the bullying continued.
And it is different than when I was in school, because you have this thing called social media, and they take one little thing and they start running with it, and the rumors fly fast online.
And you can't leave the bullying behind. You can't just leave it at 2:30 when you leave school.
Right.
You're available at all hours, on weekends, so you're vulnerable at all areas, all hours.
Owen's parents offered to send him to another school.
I definitely thought about it like quite a few times before they even mentioned it, but I thought, like, first of all, it's my school. I have the right to be there just like anyone else, and I shouldn't leave just because people are impacting me.
Last month, Owen decided to take matters into his own hands, writing an open letter to his classmates that his father posted online.
I decided to write this letter because I wanted to be heard, and I felt like for the past 4 years or so, I just feel like I was really secluded into myself, and I didn't speak out at all, and I wanted to be the voice a lot of people don't have, and I wanted to give my voice out to the world.
He shared everything.
I just know that the letter is going to impact the people like me, and that's really what matters to me, is the other people that were in my shoes, they can know that they're not alone, and I hopefully this letter gives them the courage to speak up and tell their story too, because I know it's definitely brought good to me, and especially a lot of people that I've never even met before have been emailing me and coming up to me and just giving me the support. It's been worth it.
This is not a Marshwood problem. It might be a problem at Marshwood, but it's not a Marshwood problem.
His parents are quick to point out that they have no issues with how teachers and administrators have dealt with the problem.
His perspective was always his experience, too.
Right.
He wasn't out there to blame. He wasn't out there to get angry at the bullies. He just wanted to say, this is what your words are doing to me.
In his letter, he wrote, "Words matter."
I mean, sometimes it's those words are what brought me to that ledge. So it's those words are what made me almost kill myself. And also the positive words are also things that kept me here.
People have been amazing. First of all, people have reached out and just said how proud they are of Owen for being brave enough to share his
Complete
experience.
strangers.
complete strangers.
With a maturity beyond his years, Owen says he's not angry.
I'm sure like a lot of people, you just never know. You'd like, whoa, really? You just never know. Because I'm sure half the bullies that are being negative towards me, I'm sure they're dealing with their own problems and insecurities and whatnot at home. So it's just kind of trying to be above that, I guess, and being kind to everyone, no matter that.
If people take away anything from his letter, Owen wants it to be this simple.
Be kind.
Now, Owen's letter has been shared hundreds of times online, and soon all the students at Marshwood High School will have the opportunity to read it in their classes and talk about it. We have his full letter posted in the 207 section of the News Center Maine website and his full interview as well.